This is a sample program. When we execute this Python program, we have two-step process. This is the actual flow of background execution. If it find any error, it stops the process and returns the error message. That is the first role of compiler. This machine code computer can understand and process it. We have difference between division and float division, and next we have membership operators. In this example, we use two variables a and b, which are used as part of the if statement to test whether b is greater than a, and this space we call as indentation. If a greater than b, it will execute print a, otherwise else it will execute print b. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In previous video we have discussed Python data types, right? We have categorized numeric type category, boolean type category, mapping type category, set type category, and sequence type category. Under that we have discussed integer, float, complex, and bool data type. And in sequence type category we have string, list, and tuple. In mapping category we have dictionary, and in set type category we have set and frozen set. If you didn't watch the video, please do watch. And in this video we will discuss background execution of the Python program, right? We write the code daily and we execute the code, but how the background execution is going to be is a very important thing to know about that. First we will discuss that, and next we will discuss about operators, and next we are going to discuss about if else statement, right? If you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. That really motivates me to keep going to make event series more better. Before going to the topic, we'll quickly discuss previous video quiz questions and we will start. First question, a equal to 1 and print float of a. That means a equal to 1 is an integer and we are converting into float. So the output is 1.0. And next, b equal to 2, we are converting integer to string type. That's why it will return string of 2. Next we have a tuple. We have discussed unpacking topic, right? We are extracting values from my tuple. So here a is assigned to 1 and c is assigned to 8. Remaining all elements considered as a list, right? Because of asterisk operator. Here print of b, the output is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And next we have a set and you are trying to remove e element in the set, but the e element doesn't exist in set. The Python will throw an error. We have another method, discard, to remove elements, right? If the element doesn't exist, for that method it won't get any error. This is error. And next we have a dictionary, location Mumbai, year 2004, year 2014, and we are updating the year value 2024 and my dictionary. So what is the output? So for this object the year is 2014, right? And again we are updating the value from 2014 to 2024. So the output is. Now let's start the today's topic. Do you listen this answer when someone asks what is Python? The answer is Python is both interpreted and compiled language. What is interpreted and what is compiled here? Before going into discuss about that, when we run or execute the Python program, we have two-step process. For example, we have a code. This is a sample program. When we execute this Python program, we have two-step process. Right, one is we have a source code. This is a source code, and these translate into byte code, and this is converting into machine code, and later the computer will execute the code. Okay, these are two-step process. Okay, you may have a doubt. You are saying when we execute the program, these two-step process will work, but what is interpreted and what is compiled? For that, I will draw one diagram. This is source code, and here we have this is interpreter. Okay, and within that we have compiler, and next we have my code. Next we have premium, and next this is output. Okay, and for that we have one. This is error. Okay, This is the actual flow of background execution. So here this is the interpreter, this part is interpreter. What is the role of interpreter? When we run the file, the Python interpreter comes into play. It doesn't immediately execute the code and get the result. Instead of, it will first go to the compiler. And what is the role of this compiler? When the compiler get the source code, first checks your Python code for any syntax errors. We have already seen typos and incorrect formatting in previous video, right? For syntax errors, if it find any error, like if it find any error, it stops the process and returns the error message. That is the first role of compiler. And next, bytecode generation. Once the code is validated, the compiler translates from human readable text into set of instructions for PVM. That means Python virtual machine. PVM is the Python virtual machine. The bytecode is the typically saved in interpreter with .pyc extension. Okay, first checks the syntax errors. Next, translates source code to bytecode. These two steps compiler will do. Now we are in PVM with bytecode because the compiler checked all the syntax errors, it is working fine, then it translated bytecode. We are in PVM, Python virtual machine. The PVM is a software that acts as a abstract layer between the bytecode and your computer's hardware. It takes the bytecode instructions and translate them one by one into specific machine code like zeros and ones. Machine code means zeros and ones. This machine code computer can understand and process it, and the CPU execute this instruction to perform the operation you defined. What the PVM will do? This is the software. Okay, it acts as abstract layer between bytecode to computer's hardware. Okay, this PVM takes the bytecode and translate them into machine code, like ones, zeros. Okay, this machine code computer can understand and process it. This is the actual background process when we run the Python code, and this entire process happens in background every time you run a Python program. This is the two-step process, code to bytecode, then bytecode to machine code. That is why Python is interpreted and compiled language. Did you get that? Note down this diagram. This diagram will help to understand background execution of the Python program very easily. And next, we are going to discuss about operators. First of all, what is operators? Operators are used to perform operations on variables and values. Suppose print 10 plus 5. In this example, we use plus operator to add together two values. This is operator and these are operands. And Python divides the operator following group: arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used with numeric values to perform common mathematical operations. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and modulus, and exponentiation, and floor division. These are arithmetic operators, and we all know some basic mathematical operators, right? Like plus, minus, into, divided by, modulus. This is exponentiation and floor division. Suppose 10 to the power of 2, that means 10 into 10 equal to 100, right? So in code we will declare 10 exponentiation into 2, it will return that 100. That is exponentiation operator. And floor division, we have difference between division and floor division. Let's say, for example, we have two variables, a equal to minus 10 and b equal to 3, and print a by b, that means A division by B, and here print A float division by B. So what is the difference between these two? The first difference, division returns the float value always, that means minus 10 by 3, which means minus 3.33333, right? It returns the float value. And coming to float division, it returns the integer if the both operands integer, otherwise it returns the float. In this example, minus 10 3, both are integer, right? It returns the minus 4. Okay, why minus 4 is? And next difference, rounding. Division doesn't return rounding. Rounding means, so after decimal Python will ignore, but this division operator doesn't like that. Minus 3.3333, it will display all the decimal values using division operator, but float division operator rounds down to the nearest whole number. In this example, minus 3.333, right? The nearest value of the integer is minus 4. That's why it returns the minus 4 value. These two differences between the division operator and float division operator. That is the arithmetic operators. And next, assignment operator. Assignment operators are used to assign values to variables, and we have equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to, multiplication equal to, and division equal to, modulus equal to, float division equal to, exponentiation equal to, ampersand equal to. These are all assignment operators. You can try it out. You can declare two variables and assign these values. For example, this is plus equal to A equal to 3 and A plus equal to 4. That means A equal to A plus 4. A value is 3, right? 3 plus 4 equal to 7. The 7 value will store in A variable. The same like can try it out all assignment operators. And next we have comparison operators. What are the comparison operators? Comparison operators are used to compare two values. Like these are all comparison operators. For example, A equal to 4, B equal to 8. If you want to compare these two variables, A equal to B, it will return false because 4 not equal to B, right? And A not equal to B, it returns true, and A greater than B, B less than A. We can use all these operators when we use comparison. Next we have logical operators. Logical operators are used to combine condition statements, and we have and, or, not. These three are logical operators. Say x equal to 5 and y equal to 3. We can check the condition using these logical operators. For example, x less than 5 and y less than 10. You can see this. It returns true if both statements are true. That means this statement and this statement will true, then only it returns the true while using AND operator. X less than 5 or y less than 10, which means it returns the true if one statement is true. We have two statements, so in any of the condition will true, then it returns true using OR operator. And next, NOT operator. X less than 5 and y less than 10. Suppose it returns true and we are using NOT operator, that means false. It reverses the result. It returns the false if the result is true, right? So we'll get false value. These are all three logical operators. Next we have identity operators. Operators are used to compare the objects, not if they are equal, but if they are actually the same object with same memory location, right? We have is and is not operators. What is is and what is not? Is returns true if both variables are same object. For example, I am creating new variable with list, okay, y equal to same list and z equal to x. If x is z, it returns true. Why? Z is the same object as x and same memory location, okay? But if x is y, it returns false. Why? Because x is not the same object even if they have the same content, okay? X and y have same content, same list, but their memory locations are different. That's why we'll get false. This is operator, same like is not also. It returns true if both variables are not the same object. That is not. And next we have membership operators. Membership operators are used to test if a sequence is present in an object. We have already seen these operators in previous in and not in operators. We have already seen, right? For example, if y equal to a comma b comma c, these are strings. If you want to check whether the element is present in list or not, for example, print C in Y, which means you are checking whether C is present in list, above list or not. If yes, it return true. If it is not present in list, then it returns false. Same like not in as well. We have already seen these operators. Next, we have bitwise operators. These operators are used to compare binary numbers. Let's say 1001. These are binary numbers, right? If you want to compare binary numbers, then these operators will use. And we have AND, OR, XOR, inverse, left shift, and right shift. Right, these are all bitwise operators we'll use in binary number comparisons. I think 7 types of operators here. You can try it out in your local, create variables and apply these operators, then see the result. That is very helpful in your coding. Next, we will start if else in Python. In programming languages, if else statements works as conditions and usual logical conditions, like for example a equal to 10, b equal to 20, a equal to b. This is comparison operator, and a not equal to b, and a less than b, and a greater than b. These are all conditions. These conditions most commonly in if else statements and loops. In next video we will discuss loop, don't worry. Let's see in if condition, how to write if condition in code. I declared 2 variables. We have a keyword if, okay, b greater than a. We'll use colon and enter that. It will take some space. Why it will take some space, I will discuss. Now I am print the, you can see this b greater than a. Why? Because a equal to 33 and b equal to 200. In this example, we use 2 variables a and b, which are used as part of the if statement to test whether b is greater than a. And this space we call her indentation. Okay, from here onwards we should be able to check indentations. Means Python relies on indentation, like white spaces of the beginning of the line, to define a scope in code. Other programming languages often use curly brackets for this purpose, but here the Python will take spaces, white spaces. Okay, here onwards we will follow this rule, otherwise we will get the error. For example, I didn't give space. You can see this, it is rising warning, and run the program. You can see the error, indentation error, expected an indented block after if statement on line 4. That's why we should be able to check the indentations from here onwards. And next we will use elif. The elif keyword is Python's way of saying if the previous conditions was not true, then try this condition. For example, in this code, let's say elif a equal to b, then print a comma b are equal. And next we have else keyword. Else keyword catches anything which is not caught by a preceding conditions. I am giving else print a is greater than b. Let's see the output. Now you can see b greater than a. You can say 100 and I will give 5. You can see this a is greater than b. You can also have an else without elif. I am reviewing elif. You can try out a is greater than b. It works. And we have a shorthand if also. For example, I am trying for shorthand if. If we have only one statement to execute, we can put it on the same line as the if statement. If a greater than b, okay, and print a is greater than b. You can also use if statement like this if you have only one statement to execute. Okay, then only we can use shorthand. And if you have only one statement to execute, one for if and one for else, you can put it all the same lines. Print a if a greater than b, else print b, right? Which means if a greater than b, it will execute print a, otherwise else it will execute print b. Now you can see the output, it will print a because a is 100 and b is 5, right? We can use shorthand for if and else when we have only one statement to execute. And you can also have multi else statement on the same line. For example, x equal to 400 and y equal to, we can declare same values, x equal to 400, y equal to 400. Now let's print x if x greater than y, else print equal if x equal to y, else print y. Okay, which means first it will check x greater than y. If it is true, then it will print x, else it will check x equal to y. If this is true, then print equal to If both conditions are not true, then it will print y. Let's see the output. You can see this, it returned equal because x and y are 400 values, right? Okay, now we can use logical operators here. Let's try it out. A equal to 120 and b equal to 5 and c equal to 400. Now I'm adding conditions first. A greater than b, I'm using AND operator, and c greater than a. If yes, print both conditions are true. Okay, when it is true, using these logical AND operator, if both conditions are true, then only it is true, right? So for this example, we have a value 120 and b value 5 and c value 400, which means a greater than b, 120 greater than 5, it is true, and next c greater than a, which means 400 greater than 120, this is also true. Then it will print both conditions are true. You can see this, both conditions are true. And we can use OR operator also, it will return same. OR operator means any of the condition true, then it return true. And we have NOT operator, right? Logical operator. If not a greater than b, what is the output? Will it print? You can see this, it won't print because a greater than b is true and we are applying NOT operator, so it is false. That's why it is not returning anything. Got it? And last thing, we can use nested ifs, means you can have if statements inside if statements. Here in this example, first we are checking the condition x greater than 10. If it is true, then we are printing above 10, and after we are checking one more condition, x greater than 20. If it is true, then we'll print one more time, and next we are checking one more condition, right? You can see the output, above 10 first printed and also above 10. Why? Because x equal to 31, right? That's all for today's video. We have seen the background execution of the Python program, and we have seen the operators, all types of operators. You can try out, you can declare variables, and you can apply all the operators and see the output. That will really very help in your coding. Okay, next we have discussed about the if else statements. Now it's time to quiz for this video. First question, x equal to 5 and x multiplication equal to 3, what is the output? And next, x equal to 10 and y equal to 20, print x less than 20 and y less than 10. This is the AND operator. What is the output? And next, third question, a equal to 10, b equal to 40. If a greater than b, print a is greater than b. What is the output for this? And fourth one, x equal to 20 and y equal to 200. Print a if a greater than b, else print b. So what is the output for fourth one? And next, fifth one, p equal to 33, q equal to 220. If not operator, p greater than q, then print p is not greater than q. What is the output for this fifth question? Let me know in the comment box. Thanks for sticking with me to the end, and in next video we are going to discuss about loops, for loop, while loop, and functions also. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You don't miss our next video. See you in next video. Thank you for watching.